I think money's very important, and it can control you or you have to control it. It's very simple about making sure you don't spend more than you have coming in. But that's not always easy to do. My name is Mike. I live in Seattle. My last full year of working as a high school teacher in 2015, my gross annual pay was $72,000 a year.
This video is sponsored by Chime, an award-winning financial app that is changing the way people feel about money. They have a bunch of different tools that help you avoid the pitfalls of traditional financial institutions and help you keep peace of mind. Traditional financial institutions actually make a lot of money off of overdraft fees, annual fees, and interest, but with Chime, there are no overdraft fees, no annual fees, and no interest. And you don't even need a credit check to apply. They also have no fees at ATMs at over 60,000 in-network locations that are conveniently located in places like Target and Walgreens. Chime allows you to help build your credit safely with their secured Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card. Chime's Credit Builder card works by allowing you to transfer money from your spending account to your Chime Credit Builder secured account so that you are never spending more money than you actually have. So the money you have transferred over can also seamlessly pay your balance on time when you turn on safer credit building. With Credit Builder, you're just using the money you already have and you're already spending. And you might as well help build your credit by paying off your monthly bill on time. Don't know how to build credit? With Chime's Credit Builder's secured Visa credit card, you can get help building credit with no annual fees or interest and no credit check required to apply. I'll have Chime linked below so you guys can get more info. And now let's get on to how my dad spends his money. Mike taught high school history for 34 years in the Seattle area. Today, he lives mostly off his pension and Social Security. He has not withdrawn his 401k or Roth IRA.
5 years after retiring as a teacher, I'm now making, with my pension and Social Security, I'm bringing home about $3,600 a month. To supplement my income, I substitute usually a couple days a week, and I make $200 a day gross on that job. Here's how I budget my money, the old school handwritten down method. Right now I don't have a good handle on how much I spend on food, but for our house mortgage I pay $3,000 a month, and I pay an extra $400 to pay down the mortgage sooner. Car insurance is around $130 a month. The thing I do regarding gas is there's one gas station up the street here that is the cheapest in town if you pay cash. Hello there. Let me get some gas on number 7. This is the best gas price that you'll find in South Seattle that I know of. I spent about 50 bucks of gas on this car, the Audi, a month. My energy bill for gas and electricity is a little over $200 a month. Our cell phone bill, and I have a new cell phone I'm paying on a monthly basis, it's around $150 a month. Cable and internet is around $200 a month. We put everything, all of our purchases for food and entertainment on a credit card. That can range anywhere from $3,000, maybe $2,500 to clear up to $6,000. That's pretty much it. We have garbage and our water bill. Our wedding, we're very frugal. We paid just a minimum amount for a classic Presbyterian church on top of Queen Anne Hill. It was maybe $100 to rent it for the night, and it was right after Christmas. We got married on December 27th, so there were Christmas trees that they were giving away on Christmas lots. So we grabbed 6 or 7 of them and we put red bows and twinkly lights on them. So that was the main backdrop for our wedding. We had our reception following the wedding at the Seattle Aquarium. And my brother-in-law worked for the aquarium, and he was able to lease the entire aquarium for the entire night for around $100. Our wedding total probably cost about $2,000. The biggest investment anyone will make in your life is your house. And I, having been in the Navy, had the GI Bill in my favor. And usually buying a house, you have to have a pretty good sized down payment. With the GI Bill, you have 0 down. So Christine and I, after being married and having Eric in our lives, our firstborn, started looking for a house. We found a house for sale by owner on Queen Anne in the old neighborhood, and they were just little bungalows. and it was for sale for $85,000. The house in Queen Anne was a 2-story bungalow with the upstairs living space was around 1,200 square feet. And it was really old, but we loved it, and we ended up getting it. Okay, this house is now estimated on Redfin as a little over $1 million. I'm a little disappointed at the condition of the house, looking at it. It's not maintained as well as how I left it, but heck, that was 1991, I think, or 1990 when we sold it. I completely changed all the siding on the outside, the siding around the front and all down the side, all the exterior. The most obvious thing was it had the big front porch that had a Western style railing system. And we quickly envisioned having round columns and more of a classic looking front porch. We put it on the market and sold it for $175,000. So we just about doubled our money. One of the reasons we decided to sell was because we started looking at houses in the suburbs that were almost twice as big, brand new, honestly a little better place to raise kids. The new house in the suburbs, which was about 1,800 square feet, was $176,000. Almost exactly what we sold the Queen Anne house for.
And so but you did get a mortgage on it. What did you do with the money that you made?
We put a good chunk down on it, but we also used some of the money just to upgrade ourselves. You know, a better car, furniture, upgraded our lifestyle a lot. All right, so here's the house that Shelby and her siblings grew up in. She was born in this house, actually, not in it, but up the street.
In the literal house.
We bought it in about 1991, I think, and for $176,000. 2006, we moved across town. Scariest financial time was we had made the decision in about 2006 to sell our Federal Way house in the suburbs that we bought after the Queen Anne house. We didn't like it anymore. We didn't like the layout, the neighborhood had changed, and we wanted something different. I told my wife there was this one house that I thought she might like. So we came right at this spot, and I stopped at the top of this hill, and I said, well, it's down here. And she just lit up and said, Michael, this is what I was talking about. We bought it, and she just loved it. She loved the setting, and I did too, but I was also looking at it and saying, oh boy, projects galore.
What did your kids think about it?
Oh, the kids were not happy about this move. Okay, so in 2006, no one could have predicted the housing market. We had purchased this house in Federal Way that I'm in now, and we hadn't sold the other house, but we had a buyer, a contingency offer, and the offer fell through. They backed out. There was a scare in the housing market at that time. The market was getting worse and worse and worse, and so we realized we're stuck with the other house. We're stuck with 2 houses. The housing market did crash at that time. You know, and it was a gradual slide. I mean, you could feel it, but you really didn't believe it. And you kept thinking it's gonna turn around, and it never did. For 2 or 3 years, prices on houses just kept going down and down and down. And so we're stuck. So that was the frustration. It was a little bit scary, and we were very reluctant landlords. We didn't want to be landlords.
One thing I think is interesting is even when the housing market crashed and the house was worth way less than it was before, you could still rent it out for what the mortgage was.
Yeah.
So even though it was like a pretty terrible situation, it was still manageable. Just kind of annoying to be a landlord, right?
Right. When I see the house in good shape and being well cared for now, it actually makes me feel good that we sold it and quit renting it. And it was better for the neighbors too. So this is where I'm currently subbing at this school. It's been very interesting, a year and a half with kids not being in school. Kids kind of forgot how to behave in a lot of ways. And So everybody's working hard to get it back.
Financially, do you think being a teacher makes sense now?
I think pay-wise, it pays pretty good.
How much does being a teacher in Washington State pay now?
Pays a lot better than most parts of the country. I think a beginning teacher is going to enter at about $50,000. Salary increases by taking more classes and by experience and getting a master's degree and getting what they call nationally board certified. Like if you're a teacher with 15 years, you're making close to $100K now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually pretty good. And you get summers off, you get like 2 weeks for Christmas and stuff. Like,
right.
You could do a whole nother gig.
Yeah, keep in mind you take classes, a lot of those summers, especially your first, say, 15 years of teaching.
Okay, yeah, true. Did you find in the evenings you had to do a lot of work?
Oh yeah, a lot. You don't even leave when you're allowed to, like 8-hour day or whatever. You typically stay an extra hour and a half. And in the latter years of my teaching, I stayed until I knew I was set for the next day because I didn't want to go home and think about it. So
right.
I do know teachers, though, that get there at 7 and leave at 2:30. One of my passions is golf. Last summer, my wife agreed at my urging to join a country club. It's about $500 a month for the two of us, and so that's where I golf, and I can golf unlimited for that amount. This 2008 Audi, which I bought in 2016, was $13,500, but brand new, it was a $45,000 car. I had two little convertible sports car when I was young, and I just wanted one, and I was kind of set on either a BMW or an Audi. So I looked for a long time, and so that's why.
Why can't millennials buy houses?
The reason they can't afford homes is because they spend all their money on avocado toast and lattes. So quit doing that and you can buy a house. No, all kidding aside, the cost of a house relative to income is a lot higher than it used to be. And people have so many other extra things that are perceived as things you have to have rather than things you want to have. Having a $100 a month cell phone bill is like nothing. Cable, internet, Spotify, your music, sound, whatever. There's so many add-ons that just pile up, and since people have them taken out of their credit card or their checking account, you don't even see them. They're just gone. Hey, when I was 18, and I left my house because my family had a lot of troubles, and there was a divorce, and my mom was working mom with my two little brothers. I knew I was never going to be able to go home. And if you're a millennial today and you have the ability to live at home, there's nothing wrong with that. If you can do it to help save you money so you're ready for a move, it's smart. Don't be embarrassed about it. Work on your relationship with your parents and take advantage of that opportunity. So one thing I always said was my house will always be open to my kids if they need to come back for any reason.